Hello and welcome back to another video. Today we're looking at the ESL Clash of Nations Grand Final in OCE between Generation of Miracles and BOBO. BOBO being a long-standing, very successful team here in OCE, and Generation of Miracles just a bunch of people who are really good at clicking heads, putting together a team for this tournament, and disbanded straight after. 3 of the players are already on other teams for the 2023 VCT circuit. For example, Plix is actually playing against his new team, BOBO, in this match, which is really interesting and funny. And the reason that I say that is because you see we've got a little bit of an interesting team comp here from Generation of Miracles. We have Reina, Omen, Sova, Killjoy, and Chamber. And this is on patch 5.12. This is post nerf Chamber. So that's what really intrigued me in making this video. There is some nice ideas here from Autumn on the Chamber, which I wanted to look at, and look at how Chamber is sort of played in this single TP anchor world of his. I think the pairing with the Killjoy is really, really nice on Haven, and I think if Chamber was to find a home in the new meta, Haven could be the last place where he remains post the nerf. Now, the main thing, as I mentioned, that I want to talk about in this video is seeing how Chamber can still have an impact in 5.12 and beyond, but it would be remiss of me to not show you the funniest round of Valorant I think I have ever seen. I think it just goes to show how much fun Generation of Miracles are having, and the sort of looseness in their game plan and play style in this game. So you can see we have Maple just walking up A-long with the Reina, spike in hand, clicks Dragon in the head through the flash, and the rest of the team is grouped up just outside C-long. So Maple's trying to bait over the rotates. Now, the important thing to note here is that Omen, Trill for Generation of Miracles, has his ultimate. They're trying to do a bait play where Maple will die with the spike on A. They'll get a free walk onto C. But he just doesn't die. He drops the spike down in hell. But the problem is, as you can see, what's happened is the play is for Maple to try and get a pick or two, die on site. BOBO would rotate over to A to hold spike. They TP the spike C. But you can see right now, up here, Omen is currently using his teleport, his ultimate, to pick up the spike. But where is he? He's up here. He's TP'd into heaven, because it's, you know, you can't TP into hell with Omen ult, and so he's unable to pick up the spike. So Generation of Miracles, they have to leg it back A. They were already running up C long. Now Maple is just alone on A with the spike. It's lucky that they have the Killjoy and the Chamber flank watch to show that there's nothing that's pushed out of mid. Maple gets another one there and picks up 4 for the round, and unfortunately can't get the ace in just the silliest round of Valorant that I've ever seen. Maple just diffing BOBO there on a solo mission. Have you ever seen a round like that before? Alrighty, so we're going to jump back to round 4 now. We're going to jump into the Chamber stuff that I promised you. And this is a really nice use of the Chamber from Autumn here. And I think it's one of the things that Chamber does really, really well, and still can continue to do well post the nerfs. It doesn't really affect him playing this role all too much. What Chamber's going to be doing here is not really lurking, but he's here playing in a position that's going to be cutting off the rotations from BOBO. And so you can see he's just sitting here very, very quietly. Just misses the timing there. But as they approach Garage, now Autumn's going to be able to swing. He picks off 1, 2, 3 outside of Garage. And I'm surprised that, you know, the TP isn't that little bit closer, like maybe up here, so that he can TP back, or on top of this box. Because he's got the trip here outside of A that he's, you know, got his back for the info, which is why he was watching it, you know, jet breaking that trip. But this is a really, really strong use of chamber because, you know, you can get your 1 or your 2 unawares and still be able to get out to enough of an angle where you can reset the fight and take another fresh fight. You know, you lose that advantage of being able to TP all the way back to your team with the limited range, but still in general that works the same, and Autumn actually ends up picking up the last 2 kills of that round. Very nice ace for Autumn there. Nice little 3-piece feed to start, 2 nice crisp shots to finish it off, and continues 8-0 after 4 rounds. There's one thing that I want to highlight here that I think is something that within this team comp that they could be using the chamber trip more effectively. Currently it's just sitting outside of B window watching, you know, the A lobby flank, but we also have 2 pushing up B, and we also have Killjoy turret watching any pushes out of B, and Alarm bot watching the push out of C long, and Killjoy sitting in this area as well. So this trip's currently doing nothing, and I think one of the things that you could really do if you want to run the chamber Killjoy combo on Haven, and I think it could be really effective for a lot of teams, is using the chamber trip to get really forward advanced information. And so you can have Killjoy sit here with, you know, the multiple angle flank protection, really utilizing that turret, and you can have Chamber walk up with his anchor and take these first fights. You know, we're lacking a little bit of entry in this comp, so being able to take off-angled fights as you enter with Chamber is going to be really helpful. And then you can get your trip, you know, up here for the retake of site, really, really far forward. Something that I would have liked to have seen a little bit more of. You can see Autumn walks up here and he just recalls the trip. So now that's on a cooldown, and it was never going to get any value at the start of this round. He could have just held it. But I think, you know, being used to the Chamber of Old, you just chuck down your trip at the start of the round and it's going to get you the value that you need it to get just by being global, but it's no longer global. But the cooldown's not too bad. You can see it's already almost back up for him. So he's going to be able to use it on site here on A. And there you go. So you see he gets it all the way up here. So it doesn't affect the timing in the end. But I think that's something to be aware of, is that, you know, you don't necessarily have to put it down here. You might have wanted to or needed to clear a close corner with it. That is one thing that the trip can do, right? It's going to activate on someone. It's got quite a large activation range, so you can use it to help you entry and clear corners. But yeah, I think this is a great forward use of this trip, and in this comp it's a really nice advantage that you can have. It's going to slow their entry down, and it's going to let you know when they're trying to burst onto site. All right, so coming to the pistol round of the second half, you can see Generation of Miracles. They are up 9-3, and you can see the first adjustment here for the 5.12 chamber is that, you know, often you would have this anchor here. If you were playing A and your second anchor will be playing down B long, you still are able to get a lot of value out of playing here on sewers, and Autumn's going to play this nice little off angle on top of the box up here and still have the trip on B. So you can still sort of play this A-B setup with chamber very, very easily here, and you can still play a sort of a C-B setup with, you know, your trip in garage. So I think that's the value. I think that's where Chamber's still going to manage to be able to find a lot more of that pseudo global value that he might not be able to have the range for on other maps, because the way that Haven weaves in on itself, you're able to play both sites by playing in between them in those corners. So yeah, let's have a look. He's going to walk down sewers here, get an early dart and smoke to support him getting into the angle, and there he's just going to hold, and now Sova's able to rotate off A. They've got A on lock here as far as they're concerned for now. Chamber's going to be able to TP out and get the early advanced info, and they're able to stack towards the C side, start spamming through those smokes, and Bobo have to pull away from this. As to the advantage that Chamber has, being able to play this really forward position very, very safely, still providing a lot of value for the team, and they're able to stack the other half of the map. Crunchy trying to get the chamber trip here, successfully does that, and then forces the smoke out from GOM, and they start looking towards A. And you can see this nice little off angle for Autumn really comes into play here, because everyone's looking the other way. They don't quite clear him properly. Eventually they get their crosshairs on him, but he gets 2 before he gets out. And all of a sudden this makes it a really, really hard round for Bobo. But GOM's still pretty spread, trying to play control of the whole map. Bobo to walk into B, but then they just collapse on them really, really nicely. And a great round. And a lot of that set up for that round and the roadblocks that Bobo ran into was because the Chamber's able to play in that forward sewers position and do it quite safely. Another nice little idea here from Autumn and from GOM is they're playing completely off A, just using the chamber trip to get the info on A. Now, I think this could be really, really effective if you had something like a breach or killjoy ult or both to just play a solid, really strong retake A. And you just play this off of the info. I've actually got, keep watching to the end of this video, I've figured out the lineup for the maximum range that you pixel that you need to put this on to still trigger both entrances, as well as giving you as much room to play with on B as well. But you can see, yeah, we've got the chamber on top of the B boxes in that nice strong position. You get the TP up there and then you place it back down in A link, and it's a nice little safe TP for you afterwards. The early stun comes out. Maple gets 1, but just instead of going back into B, just jumps around in B long, baiting crosshairs, continuing to jump around, baiting for the team, getting 3 for himself. Just a crazy, chaotic round. You can see that just Maple's just having fun. He's 23 and 10 right now, ends up with 29 kills for the match. You know, when someone's playing on that level and just having a day out, it's really, really cool to see. We're going to look at the start of round 17 here, where you can see Autumn has put his TP in the little short pocket here, and he's going to walk up with the Sova dart, and to support this walk up as well, Sova leaves, and then it's Chamber and Reyna up here in A long. And you can see that if Autumn takes half a step back, he's actually within his TP range in this really early aggressive position. Maple gets caught with the util timing. Bobo are able to walk out onto C, have a really nice take. And then Crunchy actually turns around, hits Maple, and then gets a nasty shot on Autumn as well. Somehow gets 2 there and gets away. It gets cleaned up as he walks into sight. But a really nice idea from the start of the round with that early chamber TP. Again, trying to get that A control so they can play away from A. The Sova dart to support that walk up. So like I said, I got this chamber lineups for you. What you're going to want to do here is come and place the little right leg here.
That's a good spot.
So, you know, a nice little way to remember it. You got this little pyramid of tiles that meets up the top, and that's where the little leg is going to go when you come put it down atop the little 6 pyramid, and that's going to catch anyone walking through
here
long. Obviously it's going to catch everything short as well, and that's going to give you the most room on B. Set the TP up 3 round, chuck this one down here, get your off ready. It doesn't quite give you window, but it does allow you to sit, you know, you can see almost half a window from here. But you'd be able to sit here and watch the aggression through garden. Anyone just trying to come up B, and you can TP away, obviously, if needed. If you want to put your trip on B and play A, what's going to give you the most room is putting it just
that works
in the middle of this line right here. That's still going to catch anyone walking through B. And then with this set up here, that's going to allow the trademark to still be active as you push out of A. It goes down for a split second. It doesn't even go down. Starts deactivating for a split second, and then allows you to walk up in this TP range the whole time. And then you've got this really, really nice forward position holding A lobby. and you're able to TP back onto A. The last thing that is probably pretty obvious, but if you want to put your trip in C garage, that allows you to play pretty much the whole site on C, except for the very back corner, which you wouldn't want to play anyway, but it still allows you to play behind plat here, anywhere obviously on site. And then same with B, you could still play this mid control if you wanted to have a strong mid presence. You got the trip for garage and you're playing B, and that allows your team to play heavy to A or C. There you have it. So that's how Chamber's looking to work on Haven in the new patch. Definitely still a viable pick, and be curious to see if teams decide to play him in pro matches moving forward. Realize that I've done bloody goofed, and you know, it's not a big deal. This is like my streaming screen, but I like to do my I like to use this cam for the recordings. I just think it's nicer for some reason. I don't know. Let me know what you think. Do you prefer the vertical cam or the widescreen cam? For the next videos, I'll do whatever you guys want, whatever you guys think looks best. Let me know. All right, have a good one.